Hey guys, welcome back. Today we are joined by Matt Grimshaw from Sisu Fit, and we are going to be discussing back squat, but more specifically everything to do with your upper body when you're back squatting. So setup, common mistakes, and giving you as much advice as possible. So Grimmy, tell us a little bit about what you see commonly, like mistakes and setup tips for back squat.
Okay, I mean, what we tend to see with back squat as well, like a lot of people think it's like a beginner exercise, John, but actually it takes quite a long way to actually back squat successfully. We'd always, through our gym as well, put people through the basis of doing body weight squats, progressing things like goblet squats, and then get them onto back squats.
Yeah.
But because back squat is a very, very technical movement, there are a ton of cues we're going to cover in today's short episode.
Which is why we've split it up into just focusing on the upper body for today. So tell us about bar setup then. Give us a couple of tips on bar setup.
Okay, firstly, there's going to be a different position where you're going to put the bar. So you might have heard the term high bar and low bar. And all this simply means is just where the bar sits on your shoulders. Someone who would high bar squat is going to sit a little bit higher up towards their neck, not directly on the neck, but at the top of the back. And someone like an Olympic lifter would use this, and I would say more general gym population would use this. Okay, it enables you to keep the torso a little bit more upright and probably a little bit more focused on the quads working. When a low bar setup is something a power lifter would use, a bit further down, so basically on their shoulder blades, or even a little bit lower in some cases. And the goal with a low bar squat is to actually push more weight.
Cool. So it gives a bit more sort of stability and accuracy with that bar plane of motion as well.
Yeah, and you're going to see in the next few episodes as well, different movements when it comes to where the knees and the ankles move through the high bar and the low bar back squat.
Perfect. So common mistakes then that you might see with the bar setup, or reasons for not getting the right setup.
Yeah.
Where would you sort of put yourself on that?
So what we've got to remember, when we back squat, it isn't just a lower body exercise. There's a lot of stuff going on during the back squat, and like you said, upper body setup is important. Because with the bar, we need to almost create that tightness of where that bar sits. Because if we haven't got that tightness, the barbell is going to feel pretty heavy, and you're going to feel like that bar is going to almost push you backwards and forwards throughout the movement.
Yeah.
So personally, first thing I would always do is get that bar position, whether it's high bar or low bar, into the correct place. The second cue I'd always give people is to start with their hands out wide and bring it in as close as they possibly can, with keeping all the knuckles around the bar. So there's no like little pinky fingers flicking out. And this could be down to shoulder mobility. No suicide grips. It could be down to shoulder mobility. It could be down to pec flexibility. Am I right, John?
Yeah, absolutely. And especially the lats. The lats play a big part in position and bracing that bar, getting into the right position. So, Grimmy, you mentioned about hand positioning. Where would you advise with regards to distance away from shoulder to grip into that bar? And is there any cues for the elbows in their position as well to create that braced position?
I mean, I always use the rule of thumb, the closer you can get in your hands in a comfortable position, the tighter you're going to be able to squeeze your shoulder blades together, so that bar's going to stay a little bit tighter and more your lats will engage.
Cool.
Obviously, if you do have some restriction, you may have to go just a little bit wider, but still keeping your shoulder blades nice and tight. And when it comes to elbow position, we tend to see quite a lot of people sort of flaring their elbows up during the squat to tighten up that bar even more.
Yeah, they must try and hold it on there if I'm struggling.
And what happens sometimes when actually someone's going through the movement of the squat, as they're pulling so hard on the bar to keep it tight, they're actually pushing themselves back down in the squat. So I always recommend getting your palm under that bar. So when you're squatting, your elbows are facing down, but as you're going to sit back, your elbows might travel back a little bit. As long as it's in line with the way your hips move, you'll be absolutely fine.
Perfect. So, quick summary then. High bar, low bar. For the general population, it's going to be a high bar sort of resting over your traps, not on your spine. Arm position, start out wide, slide in. Find a comfortable position and get the palms under the bar. Try and get the elbows tucked in and almost vertical, but let them track where your hips or torso is tracking to get that solid position. Don't pull down on the bar, make sure you've got a good grip. Now, for that bar setup, if you feel like you can't engage and draw the elbows in to create a solid brace through the bar, You may be looking at a restriction in external rotation because you can't physically get the arm or the hand backwards into this position, or you can't, if you have a lat restriction, you physically won't be able to draw the elbows, okay? So maybe look at releasing the pec, and we're actually going to do a quick video to tag on the back of this with regards to if you feel like you've got tight lats that restrict you. That can also cause a little bit of chest collapse. Check this little video, test, retest, do the quick drill and see where we go.